What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. No fishing today. We're working on the cruiser. Probably the shittest job that I've had to do so far. Got to rebuild both the swivel hubs today, so got absolutely everything that I should need. An extra set of hands as well. So yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Not gonna really be a bit of a tutorial video, but I'll kind of speak along the way. But I'll link the video that I watched to learn all this in the comments. It's a good video. It pretty much shows you everything, how to do and what tools you need and everything. So yeah, we'll jump straight into it. Rightio, I'll chuck the link in the description for the kit that I used. Pretty much you're just going to need all your basic hand tools, torque wrench, breaker bars, etc. A bunch of parts cleaner and heaps of paper towel. Right, we're just going to start pulling everything apart now. So pull all the hubs out, all the old bearings and stuff, get all the wheels off and start tackling it. All the new bearings and stuff, cleaning it all up, all the old grease. So I'll speed the video up and I'll just stop it at certain parts and yeah. Just always want to make sure you're up on some steady jack stands and make sure you chuck your wheel under your car just in case something does give way, because the last thing you want is for your car to come down on top of you while you're working on it. Pretty much every bolt that I pull off, I bought a big tub of kerosene. I'm going to soak all the bolts and all the parts I need to clean up in there. Get all the grease and grime off them, and then we'll pretty much be reusing most of the stuff apart from all the new gaskets and stuff that come in the kit. Well, I'm just zip tying this brake caliper up out of the way so it doesn't annoy us later on when we're pulling everything off, and so we don't kink the brake line. So we're just going to pop all these nuts off and pop all the chrome washers out and start pulling the hub apart. Alright, so we've just popped all these nuts off here. Just going to get a brass hammer, sit it on there, and then hit that with a normal hammer. Try to pop all these all those cone washers loose. So they're a bit of a pain in the ass, but you just got to take your time with them and try not to damage the threads that the nuts go onto. We got all these cone washers out, got them all soaking in the kerosene. Clean them up later. Just got to pop that circlip off. And you'll be able to get that off, and then we can start pulling the rest of it all out. Got it all open. All the grease in there is pretty new because I did do the wheel bearings not long ago, but we're just going to do it all while it's all apart, put all new bearings in there again. So we got to push these little star washers, little tabs fold over these big 54mm nuts. You can see they're folded both ways to lock the nuts in. Pop both of those off. I think this kit came with new star washers and stuff, so we'll throw those out but keep the big nuts, and then yeah, get that all pulled apart. Highly recommend grabbing a 54mm hub nut socket as well while you're at it. It's just super cheap. Online auto parts got them for like 16 bucks, and always going to need it when you do your wheel bearings or swivel hub rebuilds, so definitely a tool worth having. Alrighty, so this is all pretty much ready to pull off now. Just going to pull it off and hold there so you can hold all the wheel bearings inside of the thing, then it'll drop out everywhere. So they're the old bearings there, and then you get a big wash like that. A lot of kits don't come with them, so keep it, but this kit comes with it, so we're just going to chuck that out. Gloves didn't last long, so I'm just going to give up on them. Just sit that aside, we'll clean all this up later, get the bearings out and the old seals, and chuck all the new ones in. So just going to clean that spindle up a little bit of brake and parts cleaner, give it a wipe. Alrighty, we've got that spindle cleaned up a little bit. We just need to pop all these 14mm bolts out now that hold the backing plate and dust cover on, so I'm just going to pop all them off. We're going to chuck all those in the kerosene to get cleaned up. And pull both of these off. Our kit comes with a new one of those, so we're going to chuck that in the bin. And we'll get this all cleaned up before we put it back on. Just going to undo this 12mm nut that holds the ABS sensor on there as well. Figure that out and give it a clean up, and then we'll tuck that away up near the brake caliper to keep it safe out of end of our road. Right, we're going to pop this spindle off now and get it all exposed so we can start getting into the knuckle and get all that stuff off. And that is not looking too good. There's bugger all grease in there, so definitely lucky that we're doing this. Make sure you chuck all this stuff in a safe space and get it all cleaned up, because we'll be reusing all of it. Rightio, she's definitely looking a bit dry in there. Bugger all grease, and I'm pretty glad that I'm doing this job now. So we're going to get this CV pulled out. It's just got 2 flat spots on the top and the bottom of it. You just want to make sure it's lined up with the top and bottom of the knuckle before you pull it out. So I'm just going to clean a bunch of the grease out now while I can, so that when we fully pull it apart it doesn't drip everywhere and stuff. But there's honestly not too much grease in there, which is a bit worrying, so it's good, a bit less to clean up. Alrighty, so we got that a little bit cleaned up, got a lot of the grease out. So there's that inner axle seal there, which is causing it to leak. Lets all the diff oil in and mixes with the grease and starts dripping out the back. So we're going to pop all the wipers off here and the felt washer off the back. There's a bunch of bolts that run around under there, so we'll get all those popped off and get the knuckle off. Those will just sit there until we can get the front of the knuckle off. Shit ton of grease dripping out, so we'll get that cleaned up. Then we're just going to pop the ball joint off over here and drop this lower arm off, and then we can get the whole knuckle. Just popped it out of the knuckle. I'm not going to pop that ball joint off just yet because I'm waiting on the tool to come here, which should be here today. So I'm going to tuck that up out of the way until that comes here so I can get it off without breaking that ball joint. Then we'll get all that cleaned up. But for now we can get all the swivel hub housing off and get everything cleaned up and start putting everything back together. Alright, so we've got a bunch of the grease cleaned up. I'm going to pop this inner axle seal out, which is the culprit of why we've got to do this in the first place. Then we're going to pop all the bearing races out, bottom and top, then get everything cleaned up. We've got all the bolts and stuff soaking in a bunch of kerosene. Just start cleaning absolutely everything up, make sure everything's tidy, and then we'll start putting it back together. Rightio, so we just pulled everything apart and forgot to drain the diff oil, which was great. Oil started pissing out of the knuckle everywhere, so we've jumped onto that. Now we're going to start tidying everything up. We've got a few cans of black paint, so we're going to paint the knuckle and stuff, make it all look good before we put it back together. Because we may as well while everything's out. And then after that, we're going to have to do the next side. So it's going to be a long day, but the second side should be much quicker than the first side. Righty, I'm going to cut heaps of this cleaning out of the video because it took me bloody ages, but you always just want to wipe up everything with paper towel as much as you can before you hit it with parts cleaner, because it just creates a soupy mess. But go at it with a bit of degreaser, wipe it up, and then parts clean it absolutely everything. Once you get to the CV, this is what I did: spray heaps of brake and parts cleaner in there, move it around, and then just tip it all out. Was the only way I could really get all of the grease out of inside of it. Race number 1, get that out, clean that up. Just got to get the other race, which is just sitting in that side there. So there's all these little slots there, there's 4 of them on each side, so you can just sit something good. I don't have a brass drift or a steel drift, so I'm just using big steel tube that I found in the shed. Sit it through in the groove and just tap it out evenly around. Just be careful not to pretty much damage anything in there, but it's pretty straightforward. Also a good idea to sit it on 2 blocks of wood so you don't damage the studs or anything, but you can be pretty careful with it and just not damage it without them. There's our second race there. Chuck all that in the bin. We've already burned through about 4 cans of brake cleaner, can of degreaser, and filled a big garbage bag up full of bloody paper towel, rags, newspaper, everything. So Brogan's just shot down to the shops for me, grabbing a few more cans of brake cleaner and another big roll of paper towel. So I'll keep moving on this side. Hopefully this will see me out on this side and then use the rest of it over on the other. Already all cleaned up. Just going to change these studs on here, and I've gone to undo them, and look how good that is. Already finger loose, so good that we're actually redoing that, because that is not ideal. So I've got a bunch of new studs, cone washers and nuts. I'm just going to put double nut on there and undo them. That one was replaced not long ago, but I'll still pop that out. Loctite it all in, and yeah, that will be the last of it really. It's all cleaned up. Just all the bolts are in here. They're all pretty clean now. Can't really see anything, but once that's done, we'll start chipping away. Sit that in there. We've got that all really good cleaned up. Bearing driver and seal driver, and we're just going to smack that in. Yeah, start doing all the bearings and all that good stuff. I highly recommend using the genuine inner axle seal here. You just can't go wrong with genuine parts. So use the seal driver, bang that in, bang both your races in until they're seated nicely. And then from there, you want to go your felt ring, your rubber ring, and your steel split ring in that order. Alrighty, we've got some gloves on for this step. So we've got the moly grease, lithium grease. Going to grease up both the bearings and then start getting it all back together slowly. So both the races are seating, inner axle seals on. Just going to pack these and then, yeah, start getting into it. Just using 3% moly grease here, but you just want to make sure those bearings are greased up really good. Rightio, we are back. It's the next day. It's absolutely freezing and we've made no progress at all. Pretty much what happened was, quite a while ago, a stud had actually snapped off in there and I completely forgot about it. I just screwed one in while it was in the car a few months ago, and went about it. I didn't know how shallow it had snapped off in there. If you guys can see, there's probably not even 10mm of thread in there. It's like 6mm of thread, which I can't put the stud in 6mm of thread, so it is fully seized in there. I've been trying to drill it out and use easy outs and everything. Absolute pain in the ass, and it's just going to take me way too long. I ended up picking up a new knuckle housing, super cheap, so that should be here this morning. But we're just going to tidy a few things up, get this side completely ready for when that new knuckle comes, and then I'm just going to start pulling the other one apart until that gets here. So we'll get stuck straight into that. Rightio guys, so it's been a pretty long and crappy process. We have run into a couple issues, but the passenger side is fully done. All torqued up to spec, all on, ready to go. Only thing I got to do is wait for the gasket maker to go off on for the hub, and then I'll tighten those bolts up later. But yeah, gave everything a fresh lick of paint. All looks $1 million. Looks sweet. Pretty keen to test it out, see if it makes a bit of a difference. Was having a bit of trouble with the wheel bearings and stuff, so good to know everything's all freshly done. New gaskets, all re-greased, everything. So driver side parts should be here today. It is 3:06 now. Fingers crossed that it comes before it gets dark, otherwise I'll have to get the floodlight out and get it all done. But everything is ready to go. CVs all greased up, inner axle seals on, bearing races, even got the wheel bearings all in there, greased up, painted everything, bearings all good. So when it comes, can put the housing on, pack the swivel hub full of grease, chuck the axle in, and then just go from there. So it's been a bit of a mission to film this one. A lot of messing around and stuff, and it's my first time doing a swivel hub rebuild, so fingers crossed that all the filming I've done throughout the past day actually turned out alright. But I guess I'll find out when I get to editing and hopefully get a good quality video out for you guys. Rightio, we are back again. The freight driver absolutely stitched me up last night, didn't rock up, but it's 9 o'clock now in the morning. He rocked up. I'm going to get that all cleaned up and everything is ready to go. Just going to slap it all back together. Hopefully half an hour to an hour should be laughing, and we'll give her a bit of a test run. Rightio, putting it back together, you want to get both your bearings into those races we seeded earlier. Just start getting everything torqued down to spec. I'll link the video in the description that I used. He shows everything to the spec. Great video. Shout out to that bloke for that video. Couldn't have done this without him. So yeah, you want to get everything torqued up good. Make sure everything is seated nicely and super clean. The last thing you want to do is have to pull this all apart again. But once you get the CV in, make sure the flat spots in your CV are lined at the top and bottom. And then just pack the crap out of it with grease. I used a whole tub on each side.
I think the rule of thumb is you want it to be 2/3 full. So just keep working the CV around, get it all spread in there, and just kind of push it in as far as you can into the knuckle housing. Also, something I forgot to touch base on in this video, I did change the shim for the bearing preload in the top of the knuckle housing. I'm not going to go in too deep because I actually don't understand a whole lot about it, but you pretty much put a new shim in there, you get a fishing scale, you hook it on the lower arm, and you pull it and make sure that you're in between the range of 2.5 to 4.5 kilos. But I will link a video in the description from a bloke from America who goes a bit more in deep about that. So from here, we're just chucking on the dust cover, the backing plate, all that stuff, all the new gaskets, talking it all up to spec, getting the lower arm back on. Make sure the studs in the lower knuckle housing are all locked hard. You do not want them to rattle loose. After that, just grease the spindle up, make sure everything is really nicely clean and greased. Get everything back on. Start torquing up the big 54mm hub nuts. Bend over the tabs on the star washers, lock both those nuts in. And then from there, it's pretty much just cleaning everything up. We're on the home stretch now. I will admit, I'm normally not one to torque everything up to spec, but something like this, when you got some pretty important stuff inside the knuckle housing and stuff, I always torque that type of stuff up. And if you're doing some of it, you may as well do all of it. It never hurts, and then at least you know everything's done proper. And down the track, you're going to have less dramas. If anyone's got any suggestions, I'm also in the market for some new wheels. I think I'm going to run some ROH Assault, but tossing up between Nitto Trail Grapplers and a new set of Maxi Razors. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, drop them in the comments section below.
Right, yeah, we're just going to fill up the dip oil now, and then I'm going to tidy up a few tools, and then we'll give her a little test run. Rightio, well, up to the last step now, just going to fill the diff up with oil. Did have one of the drill pumps, but just pulled it out and it was broken, so back to the hand pump way. This might take me some time, so I'm going to speed it up a bit.
Two hours later.
Feels so much better now. Brand new wheel bearings in the passenger side, they were pretty clapped out, so it's good to be able to do that at the same time as the swivel hubs. Just sounds so much better as well. I guess there was no grease in there before I did it, so I'm glad I actually pulled it apart and had a look. Kind of could just feel and hear that it was a bit metal on metal beforehand, and now it just sounds a lot better and feels a lot better, so pretty stoked with that. All looks real nice, just praying that all these seals will hold up and hopefully I won't have to do this again anytime soon. What's happening, everyone? Just editing the video now, and I must have forgot to press record when I was filming the outro, so just want to say thank you to everyone for watching. Hopefully the video turned out good, and hope you guys all enjoyed it, but appreciate all the support from everyone. Appreciate everyone sharing the videos around and stuff when I post them, so thank you very much again for all that. So make sure everyone has a good night, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next vid.